Okay, started.
Hi, my name is Nicole Hampton, and I'm an exercise phys major.
Hi, I'm Madison. I am a public health major.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and I'm also a public health major.
Our presentation today is on mononucleosis.
The etiology of mononucleosis. It is often referred as the kissing disease, or mono. It is considered a virus. Mononucleosis is caused by the Epstein-Barr virus. It was discovered in 1964 by Michael Anthony Epstein and Yvonne Barr. Just a little fun fact, Michael Anthony Epstein, he was a pathologist and expert in electron microscopist, and he attended a lecture of a doctor that was discussing a disease, and that was in 1961. And in 1963, they sent over a specimen over to a hospital, and the hospital called Middlesex Hospital, to be cultured, and Epstein and Yvonne Barr were able to discover the virus that the lecture was about. And Yvonne Barr was actually doing her studies for her PhD, so she was actually a student. So I thought that was pretty cool that she was able to find a virus when she was just a student. Let's see. Okay, next slide. And it is a member of the human herpes virus 4 family. The morphology is an enveloped, and viral genome is a double-stranded DNA.
So the reservoir for mono is typically, it's in humans, and it's most common in teenagers and young adults, and is usually carried by healthy people that were previously infected by the virus, since the virus is carried for life.
So the signs of mononucleosis include fever, swollen lymph nodes that are usually found in the neck and or in the armpits, swollen tonsils, the skin rash, and a soft or swollen spleen. It will also include a positive mononucleosis blood test, which is looking for the Epstein-Barr virus. The symptoms include fatigue, a sore throat, headache, chills, body aches, and a loss of appetite. And when you have mono, you probably won't have all of the symptoms. You'll probably just have a combination of a few of them. And the most common symptom associated with mono is fatigue. The virus that causes mono is found generally in the saliva, mucus, and tears of those who are infected. So you can contract the disease by ingesting or coming into contact, like close contact with the saliva, mucus, or tears of someone who has mono. This can occur through kissing, sharing food, and sometimes even drinking out of a drinking fountain. It is very contagious. Someone with mono is contagious before they start having symptoms, and they stay contagious for many months after their symptoms go away. So they can be spreading the virus without even realizing that they are still contagious.
So the treatment and prevention for mono, first of all, there is no vaccine. And the only way to really protect yourself from getting mono is to avoid kissing, sharing drinks, or personal items such as toothbrushes with people who have mono. So like Madison said, anything that involves other people's saliva is best to avoid. So some of the treatments include over-the-counter medication that can be used to help minor symptoms, such as the fever and fatigue. But for major symptoms, a doctor might recommend specific treatments for the organ systems that were affected. And some of the control, so once again, over-the-counter medications to help with the fever and whatnot. but the best options are to stay hydrated, get a lot of rest, and it is best to avoid full contact sports because the spleen often becomes enlarged when you contract mono.
So according to a column published by the University of Washington, many college students are also immune to mono because they've already contracted the virus without realizing it. Zero prevalence studies, which test the blood of individuals to determine if they've already contracted certain diseases, have revealed that anywhere from 30 to 75% of incoming college freshmen already had mono before coming to college. This percentage only rises as people age. And another stat I was able to find is that about 95% of the population has been exposed to the virus by the age of 40, but only 15 to 20% of teenagers and about 40% of exposed adults actually become infected. So that's interesting. Next slide. And can mono cause death? Although death by mononucleosis is rare, it can happen, especially if there are other health issues. I was Googling, trying to find news that had to do with mononucleosis and causing death. And just last month, a girl in, I believe it was Maine, that passed away because of mononucleosis. I guess she had other health issues, but the article said that it basically mononucleosis was the reason why she passed away. I'm assuming she just had complications. It didn't really elaborate, but according to the World Health Organization, there were only 78 deaths recorded associated to mononucleosis. And there are other causes. Approximately 85% of the cases of the disease are associated with the Epstein-Barr virus. However, there are other cases that are also caused by the cytomegalovirus or human herpes virus 5.
So this is an experience of someone who had mono. Amber was a college freshman when she first started experiencing symptoms of mono. She thought she just had a bad cold, but weeks later she was still sick. She was trying to keep up with her busy school schedule, but her constant fatigue made it difficult. So she would just go to class and do her homework quickly and then go to bed exhausted. She finally went to the doctor and had some blood tests done. The blood tests revealed that she had mono. Her doctor gave her some medicine to help her with her symptoms. It would also help her get back into her normal school routine. She was sick for another few months, but eventually she started to feel relief from her symptoms. Though the Epstein-Barr virus does not leave the body, you eventually will no longer be contagious and become symptom-free. Amber is now healthy and non-contagious, and she is serving a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Boston, Massachusetts. She has no symptoms. This is someone who had mono who didn't realize that she had mono until later. I began experiencing symptoms of mono shortly after I had my first child. I was constantly exhausted and had chills and body aches. I blamed my symptoms on the sleep deprivation that comes with taking care of a newborn. My symptoms went away after a few months. Almost a year later, I had a blood test done. The blood test revealed that I had already been exposed to the virus.
I had a roommate that had some experience with mono, so I asked her to write down what she experienced. So these are her words. It says, "A couple of days after kissing someone, I noticed a serious sore throat and some fatigue. I could feel that my lymph nodes were incredibly swollen and just hoping to pass the illness off by getting some rest. One night I was making dinner for myself, and while I was on the way to eat on the couch, I put my dinner on the counter and laid down on the kitchen floor and fell asleep right there. The next day I decided to see the clinic and was just hoping it was strep so I could just take some antibiotics and get better soon. The strep test came back negative, and the doctor recommended the mono test. Unfortunately, that came back positive, and he gave me some antibiotics and told me to rest and drink liquids. After a few weeks, I was able to get back to my normal routine without any issues.
These are our works cited.
I work in a medical laboratory. It's called ARUP, and we do tests for states all across the country. And so what my job is we get all of the specimens for all of the tests, and I order the tests based on what the doctor has prescribed. And so I see at least 200 to 300 specimens a day. And I've seen the Epstein virus a lot. So it's a very common virus, and it's just interesting because as soon as we started studying this virus, I was able to notice it in my everyday life.